Oh, welcome back. Before we continue the main quest line, we're going to do some reading. Since we're almost at an end, so I want to go into the journal and let's find out a bit about our heroes. We're going to dive into Lady Morgana Le Fay first. She is an extremely powerful sorceress who was never truly trusted in Britannia for her openly acknowledged She heritage and her constant urge to prove herself better than anyone else. This all changed when Morgana arrived, took Avalon, and found a place where she belonged. She took great pleasure in her new role as the first enchantress in the service of the Lady of the Lake. However, as she slowly became indispensable and adept in the ways of the Mystic Island, she felt the lure of greatness again. The inevitable clash between her and the lady ended with Morgana exiled very far from the heart of Avalon, into the Shadowlands, and Morgana was wandering there until the storm and the disappearance of the lady. We also have a fairy knight. He is not a human, he is a she, or a creature of the Fae, as sages would say, an almost immortal warrior from the Sealy court. He's trying to live the life of a human knight, roaming Avalon to seek a better understanding of mankind. He's hoping to find the answer among the mortals for the survival of this ancient, decadent race. Unfortunately, his kind didn't appreciate his noble purpose, and they exiled him from the mystical Deepwood. Merlin, the legendary wizard, the ageless. There is, by the way, a good television series called Merlin, even though I never watched it to finish. I only watched the first couple seasons and I liked it. If you enjoy fantasy, give it a try. Mysterious, and it's about Merlin meeting Arthur, but as a young man, not as an old wise wizard, no, but how he came to be, how he came to magic, and it's quite an interesting angle. It's a very different angle from most media, since usually Merlin is already a powerful legendary wizard when he approaches, but in that television series he starts as a young man that doesn't even know what magic is. Alrighty. Mysterious presence who has been haunting Britannia since time immemorial. Merlin helped King Arthur in Britannia, but also conspired against him for his own shadowy purposes. Merlin was also seen during the Battle of Camlan, where Arthur and Mordred dueled and died. And yet, no one seems to know clearly which side he fought on. And again, a backslash, sometimes a backslash that's just randomly appearing. That's odd. Merlin is an enigma, a power that cannot be controlled, a solitary wanderer with strong ties to the Lady of the Lake, a great manipulator who speaks in riddles and appears usually in disguise during important events to tip the balance in his favor. Sir Balon. You might have noticed, by the way, I got rid of a few knights. The problem is, if I want active heroes, and this is finished, this is full, all bar, I have to kick them out of the round table and then they disappear. That's a bit of a problem. Sir Balon is a believer of the old faith, the religion of the ancient Sorry. Sir Balon is a knight of the round table, the son of Sir Tewelin. He believes in the code of chivalry and in his duty to protect the innocent. Destined to be the polar opposite of his tyrannical brother Sir Balon, he is fighting a valiant but losing battle in Avalon against the armies of darkness, and also against his brother. Their quarrels reached a new height during the onset of the new dark era of the storm, after the storm, or era, when the two brothers almost resorted to a duel over the fate of their ancestral castle, a stronghold built over a deep chasm connecting two separate regions. Sir Balon is a believer of the old faith, the religion of the ancient tribes and the Fae folk, while his brother is a Christian zealot, which doesn't help in making their relationship much healthier. Balon eventually left the castle and became a hedge knight, wandering the area and battling bandits and marauder knights. Sir Leo de Grasse. In Britannia, Leo de Grasse used to be one of the most rightful knights of the Round Table. He was one of the rulers of the small kingdoms that bowed before the once and future king, and although later he became a guardian of the Round Table, His road leading to Camelot was a difficult one. Leodegrance and Arthur had a troubled relationship to begin with, for reason utterly unrelated to war and politics. Leodegrance, who had strong ties with the she of the Bedegrain forest, had a beautiful daughter with an otherworldly secret, and to protect this girl and her secret, he kept her locked away in a tower, until young Arthur stormed the castle and took away the fair damsel who was called Guinevere, and the rest is history. In Avalon, Leodegrance remained true to his rightful ways, but he began to delve deeper into the mysteries of the Sidhe, gathering knowledge in the ancient shrines of the fair folk, and using his new powers to protect the new Camelot. And Sir Evane. Evane was known as one of the most daring knights of the Round Table in Britannia, and his reputation hasn't changed in Avalon either. He was prone to find himself in the middle of the strangest adventures. One of those quests earned him the nickname the Knight of the Lion, when he rescued a lion from a dragon, gaining a loyal companion for many years. Where is that lion? Why isn't he in Avalon? I want a lion as a companion. Still, for Evane, the greatest danger has always been his inability to refuse the lure of romance, which frequently landed him in the most dangerous situations and sometimes had long-lasting consequences. Once he even lost his mind because of a noble lady, and for months he was wandering the woods raving like a madman until he was cured by a powerful enchantress. He besieged castles, defeated monsters, and fought duels to save damsels in distress. And even today he would do the same without any hesitation. Sir Hector is an experienced, grizzled veteran of many battles, a noble knight who served Camelot all his life, and even after that. Hector was the father of Sir Kay, and the foster father of young Arthur, before he became the king who began to unite the warring kingdoms of Britannia. For a long time, Hector was standing on Arthur's side during all his skirmishes against kings and monsters and the demigods of the past. But Hector always believed that knights and kings are solely the servants of the realm, and the law must be upheld at all costs, even if it means ruling by iron fist and shattering any resistance. And thus he became disappointed in how King Arthur ruled Camelot. He particularly found the adventures of the Knights of the Round Table distasteful, unnecessary, a pompous and empty parade of swordsmanship instead of fighting on the real battlefield. Still, he served Camelot faithfully until he fell with a sword in hand at the gates of the stronghold. And Lady Guinevere. She used to be the Queen of Britannia, and her beauty was praised by the troubadours all over the realm. However, those who came to the court of Camelot expecting to see a fair-haired queen sitting politely were surprised by her wits and steely resolve. It was not entirely surprising that some of the greatest knights of the Round Table secretly, or not so secretly, fell madly in love with her. An otherworldly queen was the expression most often thrown around regarding Guinevere, and ironically almost nobody knew how fitting that description truly was. In Avalon, everything has changed for Guinevere. Without the need to hide her Sidhe heritage or the constraints to rule a realm, her powers grew unfettered, and she could finally embark on adventures she always envied from the Knights of the Round Table. She became a wandering arcanist in search for knowledge and secrets. And Sir Balon, the Savage, also known as the Knight with the Two Swords, the brother of Sir Balon. Even back in Britannia, they had their differences and fights. He is considered to be the evil son of Sir Tewelin, although he is more like a brute who respects nobody and cares about nothing but power. He deeply believes in God, but his God is a vengeful deity who will not suffer disobedience or weakness. Oh, Old Testament vibes. Just like his brother, he's always willing to march into battle, only he doesn't care about protecting the innocent. He just wants to defend what he thinks rightfully belongs to him. It's quite important, by the way, the Old and the New Testament. In the Old Testament, God was a vengeful being that punished those he didn't like and those that made mistakes. And in the New Testament, he is a benevolent, friendly, nice God who has forgiveness and all of that stuff. And the major problem in religions is that Christianity is based upon the New Testament. So forgiveness and being nice and atonement. But Muslims, they base their religion on the Old Testament. And that's a bit of a problem. I mean, nowadays, you might have noticed that there is a lot more terror coming from religious states that believe that Allah is a God than Christian states. And I believe it has something to do with that. I mean, one side bases their religion on being nice, forgiveness, redemption, and the other side is basing their religion on, well, the Old Testament, and that's a bit of a pickle there. I mean, they're getting into a pickle there, simply because that older version of God is just not very nice. Besides, because I said, believe that Allah is God, I hope you know that all Abrahamistic religions, Jews and Christians and Muslims, they all believe in the same God. You know that, right? It's just that some of them believe this one is a prophet, no, that one is a prophet, that one is important, no, that one is important. In the end, all of that doesn't matter. In the end, it just matters that they all believe that God exists and he alone is the blah of the universe. So if someone says, the Christians, oh my goodness, we Muslims, we are different. No, you're not. You all believe in the same God. All you do is worry about smaller, minor details. But in the end, what you believe in is the same. Okay. After arriving to Avalon, Balon continued where he left off. After the death of his father and the fierce quarrels with his brother, he has been stubbornly defending their ancestral land from the colossal fortress built upon the Bridge of Sorrows. So Balon is a remarkable warrior, wielding 2 swords in battle, fiercely attacking the enemy, and he is feared on the battlefields for a reason. And we have Lady Dindrain, Sir Percival's sister. Oh, she's Sir Percival's sister, that's interesting. A brave and skillful warrior who was mostly overshadowed by her brother's fame in Britannia, but set out to forge her own path in Avalon. Lady Dindrain is an exceptional archer who had been hunting for the Grail in Avalon for a long time, until she and her brother got separated after the storm. Following the rumors pried out of mad hermits and babbling visionaries, originally they wanted to explore the vicious wasteland, a new territory on the island, a growing blight on Avalon that recently started to form around Castle Corbeny. This is where Dindrain lost Percival. She has withdrawn to the region near Camelot, where she is pursuing her knightly quests while trying to find a new path to the Grail. She is fearless and especially not afraid to say what's on her mind, and does not bow to authority. She answers only to God, after all. Sir Kay is the late King Arthur's foster brother, one of the finest warriors of the Round Table. In Avalon, he continued to act as Arthur's seneschal in his absence, and most of the knights treated him like their leader. It all changed after the Lady of the Lake, the monarch of the mystical island, disappeared during a terrible storm, which unleashed a tide of unnatural disasters upon Avalon. Kay withdrew into a fortified castle near the empty husk of Camelot, and he has taken upon himself to fight the darkness slowly engulfing the entire region. It all started out by waging a constant war against brigands and knights, gathering ragtag armies, but Kay soon realized that there was an evil taint seeping in from the farthest reaches of Avalon. When he learned that Camelot had been taken by Sir Tywelin, he set out to cleanse the place, only to be betrayed by his vassals. And Sir Mordred. Did we read that already? I'm not sure. Sir Mordred was one of the greatest knights of the Round Table, smart, relentless, and dedicated, eventually becoming the nemesis of King Arthur, once and future king, destined to battle him. I didn't read that, I wanted to make it up, but apparently it's part of the text, sorry. To battle him in their final duel at the Battle of Camelon. His increasing conflicts with Arthur earned him the title of traitor on behalf of his fellow knights who remained faithful to Camelot. It is true that Mordred always had a reputation of a black knight, a ruthless, grim warrior who never suffered fools easily, and his relentless actions were always far from the knightly deeds praised by the troubadours, but he always kept the interests of the realm in sight. In the last battle for Britannia, Sir Mordred and King Arthur finally clashed in a furious battle, and in a savage duel they both struck a killing blow. However, even after their fall, their fate is still intertwined here on the otherworldly island of Avalon. Alright, so we're done here. Mordred reflection with Camelot done. But we do have another couple nights that we can read about at the Round Table. Yes, so Lancelot. Wait, can I read about him? Oh, that's a bit of a problem. You can... biography. Okay. In Britannia, Sir Lancelot was one of the greatest knights. His prowess in battle was so extraordinary that his fellow members of the Round Table always suspected some otherworldly influence in his background, which was actually true, as Lancelot had been raised in the realm of the Shire, saved by the Lady of the Lake from his unseelie captors. In Avalon, he abandoned all camaraderie and became a lone wanderer. Ironically, Lancelot's simple life as a hedge knight soon became a questline worthy of his fame. During his solitary wanderings, he found himself trapped in the maze of the ever-changing Deepwood. There's a word missing. He has an adamant desire to fight for the rightful cause and save everyone from the same fate that befell on him by the Shire. Alrighty, and we have Lady Budika. The fierce warrior queen of Britannia lived in the times before Arthur's reign. She led her tribes against the decadent Roman province of Eboracum to fight their power and depravity. Her victory, sadly, was brought to end by treason. She was captured and her daughters were tortured and killed before her eyes. By the way, if you have children and you want to find some media where you can let your children enjoy the topic of ancient Rome, you might want to dive into the comics of Asterix and Obelix. It's a cooperation thingy between back in the days, one of them already died, between a French and a German artist, and they made these beautifully crafted comics with pictures of Gauls trying to fight the might of Rome, and of course Caesar is then Miraculix and Edifix and all of the other ones, but in a very nice childlike manner. It's a very nice thing to have growing up as a human, so maybe you want to dive into that one. Okay. Her victory, sadly, was brought to end by treason. She was captured and her daughters were tortured and killed before her own eyes. Like many other heroes and heroines of Britannia, she has been reborn in Avalon, but as a victim of a Roman curse. When the knights of the Round Table in Avalon freed her from her arcane chains, they met a torn woman, furious from the grief and eternal suffering. But she found the strength to fight for all those who also suffer terrible fates. So much reading. I need to take a sip from a water bottle. I've been talking non-stop. What, 20 minutes? Okay. And we have Sir Gerand, a dude with a bow. He's a good-natured knight who finds solace in the woods and also many adventures. He is a noble, romantic soul, protecting the departed spirit of his beloved wife in need. As a devout follower of the old faith, he strives to maintain good relations with the druids and other worldly inhabitants of the forests of Avalon. And we have Sir Benevir. Damn, he looks lit. Sir Benevir used to be King Arthur's most trusted warrior and a follower of the old faith. In Avalon, he became the champion of Queen Morgause, although personally he didn't agree with her methods. Eventually, he paid a huge price for his loyalty, as he was exiled from the Queen's inner circle. Not that such scheming could prevent him from continuing his good work. He is a stoic, noble presence, calm and deeply religious. And we have... who else do we have? Sir Percival, yes, the mighty one. Percival used to be a simple young man with crude innocence and remarkable skills in jousting and swordsmanship. And even while he gradually matured into one of the greatest knights of the Round Table, Percival had never lost the inherent goodness in him. As a devout Christian, he was said to converse with angels who first showed him visions of the Holy Grail, which led him on a long quest his whole life to find the sacred relic. In Avalon, he was convinced by Galahad that the Grail must exist in some form on the island, and they must find it. Since then, Percival has had many adventures on the twisted, terrifying wasteland, this growing patch of blight and horror on Avalon, where he fought the Picts of Queen Morgause, the vessels of the mysterious Fisher King, and the monsters of the wasteland. And finally, Sir Bors, whoever that is. He's a brave knight. His noble deeds have gained him first fame, then the friendship of Sir Lancelot. Oh, Lancelot. But his honesty and charming naivety also tend to draw him into the most unusual situations. He made several vows of celibacy, not having sex, to refrain from the temptations of the flesh. But he failed every time. Oh, that dude. He blindly follows his knightly code, even if that leads him to trouble. Maybe make a knightly code that you don't make vows that you're not willing or capable, interested in keeping. So Lancelot, damn, he's a strong one. By the way, we don't need him. We don't need a melee champion. I mean, you've witnessed the battle against the Fomorians. They hit like a truck. So we have to try to kill them before they reach us. Alrighty. And yeah, so Merlin is our royal protector, Sir Kay is our guardian of the lady, Sir Guivere is the seeker of the Grail, and Sir Hector is a champion of the faith, and Sir Balon is a conqueror of the maze. We don't have a grandmaster, right? Let's make Fahrenheit. Morgana Le Fay becomes the grandmaster of the Round Table. Why not? Okay, so that was enough talking. I'm going to take a couple minutes pause after this one, so my voice can regenerate, and then we're going for a reckoning. So until we meet again.